Welcome to Prime Culture. On this episode, we visit the Artscape Theatre in the heart of Cape Town Central, where we will be watching the Women's Day festivities. We meet up with actors Penny and Karen to talk about their unique African performance art piece. Local filmmaker Wiam showcases a movie focusing on gender-based violence. We talk to Marlene Leroux, CEO of the Artscape Theatre, on the future of this great establishment and her plans to integrate the Artscape experience with the greater Cape Town community. Labib Levy, Stormers coach, joins us for Derby Day between Vineyards Rugby Club from Paarl and Collegians from Mitchells Plain. The Artscape Theatre Centre, formerly Nico Malan Theatre Centre, is the main performing arts centre in Cape Town, South Africa. It was opened in 1971 and is located on reclaimed land in the foreshore area. The Opera House seats 1,487 with provision for 2 wheelchairs. The facility also boasts a theatre seating 540 people and an outside arena seating 140. Marlene, first of all, let me say congratulations on a lovely day. You guys have really exceeded our expectations of being here today. Being the CEO of the Artscapes Theatre, as a woman in a role of the CEO, any challenges that comes with it from your side?
I think most important is that you need to let people buy in and take ownership also of what the place must be. And we call this a place of humanity. It's more than just a performing house. It is a place where we, as Artscape employees, we took ownership of taking and have events, but also it's also a place where people can come meet somebody else from a different cultural background, language, and just be and breathe, as you have seen today as part of our Women Humanity Festival, because it's so important in South Africa, especially where we come from our past, that we must acknowledge everybody in order for us to move forward. So it's for us, it's important that we have, that families do come to this place. And over these years, we've seen how single mothers or single fathers comes, the elderly comes, because they feel this is a safe space where they can just be. And this is what we don't want to lose as a space. This is an institution where we call it Humanity Cradle. And what do we mean with humanity? Is really that you have a holistic experience when you, even from the parking area, you need to be greeted. You need to feel, wow, I'm in a space where I'm going to be.
I like that, because as we actually drove here, I started becoming, there's this concept of becoming excited of going to the Artscape Theatre and walking through the building. So even me being in the industry, driving here, I had that excitement of what is happening there today. Who am I going to meet? So I like when you say that. We actually saw that today, and it's something that I actually felt driving here today as well.
Because what we're trying to do is to introduce different communities from Wellington, Ceres, from Constantia, from Durbanville, whoever. Please come Elsie's River, and also to connect with yourselves also. Sometimes people come and sit just on the steps. They don't come and watch a production.
Yeah.
They just want to be in a space where they feel also, and we make sure that the maintenance of this place is spick and span. It must be tip-top. And we want you to feel you're coming into where you're going to be appreciated. And why must you feel that? The toilets must be clean.
Yes.
When you step in, everybody must greet you. And this is important, irrespective of the color of your skin. We want you to feel that you're a human being.
Well, you guys are doing a good job.
That is the respect.
Definitely experienced that. There was a lot of smiles, friendly people. We got welcomed, and everybody said hello with a smile on their face. Getting back to today's festivities, it's Women's Day. There was a couple of plays out there that was touched gender-based violence, and that was sort of a bit, I wouldn't say controversial, but in today's world, it is really relevant topics. Was that your idea to do something like this today, or how did the concept come up to actually have this here today at the Artscapes?
We have every year, we would have, since I've been here, a walk, because I'm also a women activist.
Yes.
And it is actually, I call myself a humanist, a human rights activist, because it's about giving respect to every human being. And this festival, it's about women emancipation, it is about respect, it's also about recognizing our girl, boy, and also men that is role models in their communities and persons with disabilities. So our program is about all of these aspects in one building, so that people can realize you can be everything. You can be a woman with a disability, you can be from a disadvantaged community, you can be whoever you want to be, as long as we respect each other and give each other the right to be who they want to be. And that is for us important. And the concept every year, I'll sit with a team. And because the gender-based violence was so prevalent in COVID, it came actually to the fore. It was there. But women were killed horrifically by the hands of their loved ones. And with the team, we've decided that this year, we're going to have moments of silence where we're going to invite and recognize the pain of people. And we won't want them to come and sit on the piazza with a band, with poets, and we want to give them a spekboom, because spekboom is a symbol of breathing, but it's also nature. So in that way, you can connect and go plant and have a ceremony at your home for the loved one you have lost during COVID, but also you that's been abused at home, that you can also use the spekboom to give you courage. And also, if you know of somebody that's been brutally violated because of gender-based violence, take that spekboom. Sometimes we talk too much, so we wanted to have an act of kindness.
Yes.
And this was today an act of kindness to humanity.
Let's touch a bit about this, because we're sitting here and we're doing this interview, and I'm seeing these interesting faces behind me. What is this all about?
We take every year the theatre to the people. This space was only built for white people in the past. And when I took over, I said, no, it will be for white people, black people, colored people, whatever color of your skin is, it will be for everybody. But it is a space. But it is far from people. So every year, for the last 16 years, we will take Artscape to the people. And we will then, in the most disadvantaged areas, we will build a stage, and that particular community will then select an iconic person who ran a soup kitchen, or who has housed young people, who has given of themselves. And then we took Manfred Ziller with us, a visual artist who didn't charge anything because he wanted to give back to the people, and their portraits were painted. And we decided that we're bringing them home to Artscape.
Wow.
And later in the year, during Heritage Month, we will invite everybody, so you can see their stories on there, so that we can say to people, everybody's lives matter. Whether you are a cleaner, a security guard, a domestic worker, or the president of the country, we are all human beings, and that is why the portrait is hanging at Artscape.
So I'm here with Karen and Peggy, who's play Yeka Ipani. Okay, let's you guys do that. What was it called? How do I pronounce it?
Yekabani le painti.
And what does that mean?
So it means whose panty is it anyway? It means whose panty is this? Yeah.
Okay, so whose panty was it, actually? No, I'm just joking. So you guys have been in the industry for a while as performance artists. Is that the right way to pronounce? Is that the right term?
Yes. So
Okay.
both of us are actors and performance artists.
Okay, and you've been in the industry for how long?
I did my first performance art piece in 2015, and acting, I would say, has been about 10 years prior to that. But my main focus for the last couple of years has been around performance art specifically.
And how long have you been in the industry?
Now it's been 14 years. I finished 2007 studying. Then I've been in the industry since 2008, mostly taking care of my children. Then I've just come back into the industry full on as a performer, an actor, writing, directing. Yeah.
So who wrote this piece that you performed today at the Artscape?
So it's a piece that we developed completely together. Last year, Woordfeest had an artist week because they didn't have the actual Woordfeest festival. Yeah. And in that week, the week started where we could each pitch an idea of what it is we want to develop in that artist week. But they had too many people pitch different ideas. So what they did is they put central themes together and told everyone, okay, go find your theme, and then whoever is there with you, that is who you're going to work with. And Peggy and myself ended up with one other performer, but she wasn't going to be able to be there on the very last day, and she's a singer. So we assisted her with her singing piece on the Friday, and then it was left to the two of us to develop something together. And it was just beautiful how we had very similar ideas, similar elements that we wanted to use, like, for instance, the panty, and things that we wanted to highlight, like the oppression of women, like the fact that there's a big difference between oppression between a woman of color and a white woman. So these are all things that we both discussed, and then in the days of the Woordfeest Artist Week, we developed it. We started working on it, and that's where it initially started.
It's quite an intense theme, that you guys have actually tried to tackle here. Does it resonate, or does it hit close to home? Or is it just something that you guys as artists felt that you want to portray or put out there in the form of an arts a play or I don't know, it's something that you guys are...
Being a woman, the issues, as much as they are vast, in our 12-minute piece, we cover a lot of things. Some of them aren't of our own. Some people have tried to say, what are you talking about? People feel different things. Someone would be like, women abuse. Someone would be like, pay differences, religion, faith, whatever. There's so many things that come out from watching our piece. And those are the issues that we cover, not just one thing. We reflect. There are things that resonate with me personally. There are things that are also personal with her. But at the same time, the issues that we go through as women are generally women's issues. Patriarchy.
I saw the crowd was sort of watching and wondering where's this actually headed, because it was deep. I mean, me watching it myself as well. It starts with, okay, what is going to happen now and where you guys headed, but at the end it became it's a really deep topic. Is this something that you would want to continuously portray or show, or is this a play that is just a once-off today at the Artscapes? Because I think that many people should actually see this.
So no, it's definitely as many times as possible. We want to take it as far as possible so that people can see it. Because what happens when people watch it is it starts a dialogue, and that is what you want to do. If you're an activist, you want people to talk about the issue at hand, and by creating art, you create dialogue through your viewers.
Yeah.
So this is just still the beginning. It's still going to go far and wide, hopefully not just nationally but internationally, because the issues that we speak of, even though we look at it in a South African context, is issues that women face all over the world.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how it doesn't matter who has watched it. It could be 5 people, it could be 20 people, or the crowd as big as the people outside. And each person's feedback on it is completely different. There are issues that maybe are similar. There are comments that may sort of be the same. Some people are just totally quiet because it's gone, as you said, it's really deep. So it's a packed 12-minute of complete association with women. It's like we really stand together in understanding what we represent, what we want to change, and it can change the whole world.
It's like I normally say at my 1-minute film festival, if 1 million different people watch this play, you would want to have 1 million different ways of experiencing it. And I think that is what resonated to me with this, that if different people will obviously get a different message from this play. Well done, guys. I really enjoyed it, and all the best for you for the future, and thanks for being on Prime Culture TV.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you so much.
You know the drill, young woman, all clothes.
Yeah, but also as a teenager, I suffered from bipolar disorder, and I have a very clear idea of what that is and what that feels like. And I think I was able to write about it in a very authentic way.
So, tell me, what are you guys doing here today? How's your involvement with the festivities here today?
Okay, I screened my film here today to youth, and it's a short film, and I'm also doing an NFT launch here for my film today.
Okay, tell us more about that NFT launch.
I'm launching my film as an NFT, so people can buy tickets to watch my film as an NFT.
Okay, and what is your movie about? We did see some of the clips earlier here today, but give us a bit of a background about what the movie is about that you screened here today.
So, 2 Years is a film about a woman who suffers from bipolar disorder and is a silent victim of sexual assault.
Okay.
And yeah, that's what it's about, and how she lives out the trauma. It uses color, red and blue, the red magnified and blue red.
And thinking of this concept of coming up, I mean, you've been in the industry for years. This is not my first interview with you. Coming up with a concept like this, especially touching topics like gender-based violence, is it something that's close to home, or is it just something that you, as a filmmaker, feel you explore?
Well, we have an endemic of gender-based violence in South Africa, so it is something that's close to home to everyone.
So it's something that you thought that you just have to touch with it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And what is next for Tribal Alchemy?
Well, to produce the 2 Years feature film.
So you want to actually turn it into a feature movie?
Yes, the script is done, and that was what I was doing today. It's launching the NFT.
Okay. And the challenges that you face as a female filmmaker, anything that you can talk about or touch on there?
Yes, of course, it's a challenge being a female filmmaker. The industry is quite male-dominated, and a lot of that is explored in the film, the content of the film, in terms of how women are treated in the media, the expectations of women, etc.
Where can we actually see this movie, the short film that you produced at Gladiator?
So 2use.crd.co, there are updates on the website with regards to where you can watch the film and what we're doing next.
Sabira, tell us about the character that you played in the movie 2 Use.
Well, I was the mother of Wiam, and I must say, as a Muslim mother, you try to raise your daughters better than you used to be raised, or the way the world is today. But it looks like the children of today have their own ways and methods, so you have to fight a little bit. So yeah, but it was nice, very nice.
And getting into acting, was it easy for you? Is it just a natural transition, or is it something that you've always been doing?
Well, at that moment, this was my second short film, so I had a little bit thingy in there. But I must say what was for me great was the fact that I had to play against Abdurrahman Adams, that are already an actor for years, certain things and quiet things and so on. So that was for me like a real good thing. And I learned quite a lot from him as well, because there was words that I couldn't pronounce that was frick long, I will say, but then he will take, you will see there sometimes in the movie there, I will say, oh, my daughter, and she lives now in and there I couldn't remember, and then he jumped in, so it was quite nice.
And filming or working on a project like this, does it hit close to home, the gender-based violence topic? Is it something that resonates with you, or is it just, were you just part of the movie and it obviously just came from there?
No, definitely. Let's just say, if I have to take back my own childhood, I was also abused as a child. I can say thank you God, not sexually, but I was abused as a child, as a youth, as into my adulthood until I decided enough is enough. So yes, I can relate a little bit to that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Stormer's assistant coach, Labib Levy, is a bit of a cult figure in the Cape Town community when it comes to rugby. Being involved with touch rugby at a really young age and now leading up to coaching the Stormers to the URC Championship, this coach doesn't mind giving back to the community on a daily basis. Noah, what do you enjoy about this sport?
I enjoy the competitiveness of it. I enjoy playing with my friends and family. I like the fastness of the game, and yeah.
And having Labib Levy as your coach, having the Stormers assistant coach coaching you guys, is he tough on you as players?
Yes, he is very tough, and I feel like he's especially tough on myself and my sister because he's our dad. So, yeah.
Oh, so he's your dad as well. I just had an interview with your sister as well. So growing up in a household with a rugby crazy guy like Labib, that can't be easy.
No, not really. He pushes you extremely hard every time you train with him, every day, reminding you of certain things. So, yeah.
Are you proud of your dad's achievements?
Yes, very proud of my dad.
And which team do you support in the URC?
Stormers. Definitely Stormers.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Okay. Just line up, move some forward.
Sophie, how long have you been playing touch rugby?
I've been playing for 5 years.
And what do you enjoy about the sport?
I like the intensity and how fast everything runs.
Ashika, what do you like about touch rugby?
I enjoy the game because it's a team sport. You have to work together. It's quick and there's a lot of technique that you have to learn. So it's fast movement that you have to get through.
1, 2, 3, 4. There we go, my quick girls will take too long.
Insaf, tell me, how long have you been playing touch rugby?
I've been playing since 2012, so about 10 years now. Yeah, 10 years.
And what do you enjoy about the sport?
I think it's a very everyone can play the sport no matter how old, if you're a girl or a boy, very family orientated, meet your friends, people from different backgrounds, that kind of thing.
And what do you have to say about having the Stormers assistant coach coaching you guys? It must be a big privilege.
Well, he's my dad, so yeah, no, it is very good. Like he's involved in obviously a higher level training, and he just brings that into our training here, so it is really good.
So does he put unnecessary pressure on you, being his daughter?
I'd say so, but you might disagree. You know, it's all good. Like I'm glad that he's tough on me. It just makes me better. Yeah, just helps me.
First of all, Labib, let me say congratulations on a successful year with the Stormers in the URC. It must have been a phenomenal experience.
It was an amazing experience, especially the way we played during the year. After a slow start, it was really very much fulfilling after the hard year that we as well as the playing staff put in.
And you being so, I mean, you're one of the most famous guys in Cape Town at the moment because of the Stormers winning the URC championship. But yet you still give back to grassroots with touch rugby. Tell us about, the project or what you do with the underprivileged or young development of touch rugby in the larger Western Cape.
Yeah, it's a project we started about 26 years ago in Cape Town. We started with 6 friends just throwing a ball around. But as it went...
So you started it when you were 5 years old because you're 31 at the moment.
I know, my nickname is Babyface, but I'm not 31, I'm actually 51. So it started with a group of friends just playing a bit of touches. But as we started growing, we got quite big. Then we started a club, the Amazing Galaxy Warriors. But then as we got bigger, we started an association, Western Cape Touch Association, which covers a lot of the Cape Flats and the Greater Cape Town.
And does it just cover female touch rugby or men or juniors, or what age levels do you have?
No, it's all levels, men's, ladies, mixed teams from as young as 10 years old till over 50. You can play up to World Cup level. But we've put a big focus in the female game of late because I'm a bit biased. I've got 2 daughters, so we're also helping create a platform and environment for them to play in. But it's for men, old people over 30, like I said, over 40, and we put a lot of focus in grassroots, as you said, but also in the Cape Flats underprivileged communities, which come with these challenges as we are aware.
And let me ask you this question: why touch rugby specifically? Why not 7s, or why not 10s, or why not the 15-man sport? Why invest so much time and effort? Is it just because it's something that you like, or is there a specific reason behind that?
Well, I've been involved in 8 World Cups for touch, just and 9-1-1 for tag, but I don't see much of a difference. A lot of our players integrate into 7s. Ironically, last week 2 of our touch girls played the Commonwealth, and yesterday 2 of our touch girls were selected for the SA 15s under 20 ladies team. So we use it as integration due to that, even World Rugby's changed the game now in terms of to have less contact on training. It's good for training. All Stormers, both national teams use touch as a form of the training just to avoid collisions. We use it obviously as an integration, and it's just lots of fun. You can play the whole year. You handle the ball so much. It's good for defense. 2v1s, long passing, the girls can do all that, which some guys can't even do properly.
So what's next for Labib Levy?
For now, I'll just keep continuing. I enjoy coaching club rugby, even though I'm a professional rugby coach. I like helping clubs out, clubs like Collegians, Vineyards, Amadeus, Violets. It's teams that I've helped this year, and I just want to keep making a difference where I can undercover.
And I know that we have something special to attend today. Your ex-club is actually playing against my ex-club on Greenpoint Stadium, so we're going to be attending that game together later on this afternoon.
Yeah, it's actually both my ex-club. I actually played for Vineyards as a youngster, but I also am very passionate about the red, white and blue of Collegians.
That's quite interesting, seeing that I also played a few games at Collegians, so it's both our 2 clubs that are actually playing to each other today. So that's going to be quite an entertaining afternoon that we're going to as well.
It's going to be a thing, and hopefully just rugby's a winner, and just the 2 communities can get together and just make lifelong friends.
Thank you, Mr. Levy. The Cape Malay community is a rugby crazy people. And nothing gets bigger than a derby game between Vineyards Rugby Club from Paarl and Collegians Rugby from Mitchells Plain. Both these historically strong clubs used to ply their trade in the old Western Province Union Rugby, where Springbok players such as current Stormers lock Salman Murad's dad Nazim Murad captained Vineyards on memorable and numerous occasions. So we've been watching the first half of this game between Vineyards, my club, and Collegians, which is basically your club, and Vineyards was one of your clubs. What is synonymous with you and this field? I know you told me a cool story that this is actually where you started your rugby.
Yeah, I actually played my rugby as a 7-year-old year, playing for my dears on the Greenpoint track. But we also grew up on the track because it's obviously got a rich culture of rugby and history here. Collegians is playing here in white. They were actually known as the darlings of the track. They dominated the track on the 80s. And Vineyards also played on the track as well as the Boerland League. So both are synonymous with the track, and both had a lot of players that played for Western Province, Old Saru, Western Province, and many of them, a lot of your Murad guys as well, who progress into the Saru fold.
And one of my cousins is playing here today. I know that his cousin is your co-captain at the Stormers. You want to say something about that? Oh, Ben, while that happens, is a try coming?
Oh, no, it went over the dead ball line. Salman actually called me about 5 minutes ago asking how that. I mean, he was in the Springbok bus and he's worried what's happening here, you know. So it is actually quite exciting. It's a very good match. His brothers playing here. Quite a decent loose forward, tackling well, stealing good ball, and really dominating play in the first half. The score now is 11-5. 11-5. Not sure the conversion went over. So it's game on after Vineyards led 11-0. Exciting day of rugby here. Lots of people, about 6,000 strong crowd, just for a day of rugby, which is perfect, and bring the two communities and the vibe together on the track.
The Cape Malay culture in general is very rugby orientated. I think there's a fanatical fan base between a lot of clubs spread over the Western Cape. And as we speak, Vineyard scores a try.
They actually just bounced back now. They bounced back after conceding a try. But I wouldn't. Collegians is a team that likes to play rugby in the last 20 minutes, and I'm sure they can bounce back. But the Vineyards team has played a good brand of rugby today. The score is probably a true reflection of the state of affairs at the moment. But I wouldn't put it past Collegians to bounce back now soon.
I'm saying the same thing. Collegians is a backline, running orientated club, and they've been like that all along my career as well, and you can never write them off. So I'm looking forward to a cracking last 15 minutes. Any last words from your side?
Yeah, I think it's just great, and I think we must encourage our clubs, other clubs like Young Stars, SK Warmers, Collegians as well, all the old track teams to try and play their games on, even on Sundays, every now and then. Especially they play each other. The community loves it, the community needs us, after COVID especially, and also after just being away from rugby for a while. I think it's important that we revive our heritage and our club rugby and bring it back to Greenpoint Track. And as you can see by the crowd, it's actually a good revenue opportunity for you as well if you're a club. So I think we must make the track alive again.
I was actually saying the same thing. If you look at the amount of people here today, it's a public holiday. Everybody wants to come out and enjoy the day. It gives me that old vibe of when I was a kid in the late 80s, early 90s. I mean, things like this should happen more often.
It should happen more often, and exactly what you're seeing here. If you just look here, there's about 30, 40 kids playing rugby here behind the pole. They're not worried, and that's how we keep the game alive and keep the community and the vibe alive. And it's just we all learned the rugby, and we must keep it going.
Thank you, Mr. Coach. I actually saw your brother in the audience, so I'm going to go and grab him and see what he has to say about the game today as well.
He's a perfect person for this chat.
Thank you, Mr. Coach. I'll see you now. So I managed to catch up with Labib Levy's brother Munib, and he's been a track guy his whole life. Welcome.
Thank you, Tamir. Yeah, it's great catching you here and for what you're doing. You know, today is very iconic. If you look at this field here, if I just take you back to 1886, rugby's been played here since 1886. Before unification, you know you had the, if I use the racial terms, the white Western Province and the coloured Western Province, and the coloured Western Province emanated from this very ground. Every Sunday, what you see here, this is what happened on every Sunday. All the teams would play here, and they would bring all their families and everyone here every single Sunday.
I just actually told your brother the same thing. Seeing this happen again, isn't it time that we go back to maybe having certain games played on Sundays, especially with the Muslim community clubs? Is it not something that we could actually look at doing in the future at more, on more occasions?
I think it's a brilliant idea, and twofold. Why I say, remember, the Greenpoint Track, before we had District 6 and the Boer Cup and the Dry Docks, so all that communities used to converge here on a Sunday and play. Now when the group areas acts came in, they split all the people. So this, besides being a rugby day, is where old friends and communities meet and gather up and speak about the good old years. That's the first. And secondly also, for whoever club it is, because on the Sunday there's no clubs that generally play, it will be a good revenue income for those clubs. So I think it's actually a brilliant idea, but we just need to get the club's mindsets that they all buy into this and see the benefit.
I was thinking the exact same thing. I mean, there's your brother just mentioned there's almost 6,000 people here today for a local club game, and it's so nice to see the track so full again. It's beautiful just to witness little kids playing behind the ground. That's how we grew up in the 80s. The mid-80s, this is how I watched my uncles play rugby, and it's just brilliant to see this happening again.
And if you just at the kids playing, you encourage them to play the sport, you encourage, and you're creating proper role models for the youth. The youth want to say, I want to be like a Salman Murat, or I want to be like Putti, or anyone like that. It's just brilliant.
You mentioned Salman Murat, and how nice it is to see his brother actually playing today in the Vineyards team.
It's quite fun. I just got his dad now early up in the stands, and I didn't realize his brother plays in the Vineyards team. And look where Salman started. Irrespective of wherever he went to school, he started his rugby here. He's watched his uncles and his great uncles and his grandfather. So it's just brilliant for the youth.
Thank you very much, Mr. Levy. Appreciate your time. Enjoy the rest of the day. So I managed to bump over with my brother, Junaid Murat, who's actually involved at Vineyards as Exco. Junaid, a day like today, any comments on the game, first of all?
Yeah, look, I mean, it's a tight game, and we always knew it was going to be such a very, very tense and some niggles here and there, but that's the history of Vineyards and Collegians.
Everybody's saying that they enjoy the atmosphere today, 6,000 people. Do you feel that more games should be played like this on
Sundays, especially between two predominantly Muslim clubs?
Look, obviously with today being a public holiday and on Sundays as well, people always have more time on their hands, and we always see big crowds, especially in community games. Greenpoint Track, two Muslim clubs that have a rich history, that have played each other since 60s, 70s and 80s. So yes, definitely to draw crowds, I do believe that public holidays and Sundays could possibly do the trick.
A lot of people are saying that the Cape Malay culture, especially with regards to rugby, we are fanatical. All the clubs have their fanatical support base, and from that side, everybody wants to see venues and days like this happening again. Do you think it's time to bring back the old big derbies between the predominantly Muslim clubs of the Western Cape?
Look, I think specifically with us collegians, teams like Primrose, Rangers, we do get each other in the league. So if we can turn those games into the derby games and we can have events like today, then I think it only bodes well for rugby in general and within the communities. And obviously the rivalry between these clubs are immense. So yes, fully agree that we should turn these games into derby days, into family days, get juniors involved and, just make it a day of rugby.
And with about 10 minutes left on the clock and Vineyards leading 16-7, who do you think is going to take this game today?
Look, in my biased opinion, I would want to say that Vineyards would take this game. And look, it's an away game for us on the track, Collegians' home ground. I think maybe we'll pull it through.
So Mr. Tofi, I'm actually going to have to say Uncle Aslam because this is actually my mom's family and my dad's family. Uncle Aslam, welcome.
Yeah, great to be here. Nice to be talking to you today.
It's good to have you today, Uncle Aslam. You must have had proud memories of playing at the track.
Look, to me, the track was everything to us in rugby, especially here in the Western Cape. And coming from Western Province, this was the house of pain. And I've got lots of memories of this place. And looking at this whole track today, if I look at this field, it brings back a lot of memories.
This used to be a home ground for, I think, probably 10 to 15 years?
15 years was our home ground, but whenever we played, it didn't matter where we played, but this particular rugby ground was the heart of our non-racial rugby years that we played. Everything was centered around this Greenpoint track that we see here. And if we look at the crowd that we have today, this was a typical rugby day for us. When we played against any team, and it was always a proud moment because we lived the rugby.
Yes.
Rugby was our life. And the track, this Greenpoint track, has got memories for a lot of people sitting here today. So bringing back this rugby here today means a lot for our youth. It means maybe we will be able to bring rugby back into our communities, and this is what we want. We want days like this. We want to see people coming around and enjoying themselves. Today is a festive day for us. It means that we're seeing the talent that we see here today from Vineyards and from this particular team, the Collegians. This was the rugby that we were used to all the years.
And Uncle Aslam, I know that you didn't play for Vineyards, but half of your family played for Vineyards. Who are you cheering here for today?
Look, today I'm going to say that the half of the game I'm with Collegians. The other half of the day I'm with Vineyards. So I'm enjoying the rugby today. I think it's a great rugby festival that we're having here. And I'm sure that every person sitting here has got great memories and they're enjoying themselves.
The day ended with Vineyards Rugby Club beating their old foe 26 points to 21, with Stormers captain and current Springbok lock Salman Murad's brother, Ahmad Murad, putting in a man of the match performance. In next week's episode, we spend time with social entrepreneur and golf enthusiast Jihad Kasu as we explore how he's using his passion for the sport to drive social change. We also speak to Rondebosch Golf Club's golf manager Dominique Jacobs about the measures they've taken to make their club one of the few in Cape Town who have taken steps to accommodate their growing Muslim membership and visitor base. We also speak to the management of the Urban Oasis Hotel and Eatery about their venue and what it offers local and international guests. We also stop over at the exciting new Total Ninja Park in Cape Town, a supervised activity and fitness venue inspired by the global phenomenon TV series Ninja Warrior.
Thank you for watching this episode of Prime Culture. Tune in next week, same time, same place.